So with the Flash movie, you're getting like a royalty from that somehow?
I'll bet, yeah.
So I'm like, how does that? I want to avoid asking anything too personal, but I'm curious. Like a comic book artist who sees their work turned into a movie, like what kind of money can they make from that? Is it like a big deal? Is it like you're going to buy a mansion, or is it like you might pay a phone bill?
Oh. No, we bought our house from the Justice League royalties. So,
Whoa,
yeah.
from the movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait. How do you get royalties for that? Because when you drew the pictures, you have the right to that imagery?
So because of the insane exploitation of comic book creators throughout the years, basically, Steve Ditko doesn't own Spider-Man or Doctor Strange at all.
Yeah.
He's got none of that. He should be a billionaire, and he died, just a regular middle-class fella. It doesn't make any sense. DC Comics kind of woke up to that idea, and they created an incentive program for their creators. If you just want to sit there and draw their characters, that's fine. You'll get a paycheck. But if you want to create something for them, like I always did, I always created new stuff for them. If they look at it and say, this is really good, we're going to be using this in other media, they'll send you an incentive contract that you sign that grants you a percentage of those media rights in perpetuity.
Wow.
That's awesome.
In perpetuity.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. So there are certain things like I own Iron Heights Prison. So whenever Flash sends a criminal to jail and they think he's in Iron Heights, I get paid. So it's great. It's terrific.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine it's like one instance in one media thing. It's the combined collection of all the different media mentioning it that makes it substantial. Like if
video games are very substantial. I mean, yeah, the combined, that definitely matters. But movies and video games are insane. The royalties we get for video games are great.
I hear that
cool.
for a musician, if they can get their song into a movie, is when they can retire.
Yeah. Oh. I there was a friend of a friend. So someone I know knows a band that we would widely consider to be a one-hit wonder. And the guy, I think, made like $10 million off of one song that ended up in a commercial.
Yeah.
It was a very, very popular song. Most people may have remembered it from the 2000s. But like they told me the story where it's like this guy went from being a middle-class dude playing local shows, building up a following, making a decent living. Then one day a phone company bought a song from him, and then he just didn't know what to do, and he just had $10 million. Like the money just slapped his account, and he was like, okay, that's weird. And it kind of, in a sense, destroyed his life, as I'm told, in that a buddy of mine said that, when he first became very wealthy at a young age, he had an existential crisis because you don't know what to do. Everyone around you is in this machine. The relationships that you had were predicated upon like your work environment or your school environment, but now you've been removed from that, and you're just some dude who wanders around and doesn't have to work, where everyone else is like, the story is he'd call up his friend on like a Monday afternoon and be like, hey, you want to go out to eat? And they'd be like, bro, I'm at work. And he'd go, oh, when do you get off? And they'd be like, I don't know, 6 or 7. Then I'm going home to see my family. And he'd go, oh.
So all you rich people out there, when you take your friends out to lunch or dinner or whatever, let them know before the meal that you're going to pay for it. It's so stressful to wonder the entire meal when you're broke.
Oh.
Am I going to have to pay for this? I don't know what I can order. So just let them know ahead of time. It's helpful.
And also, be wary of inviting your friends on trips to Europe. Like I've seen that way too much. Well, like people who are wealthier being like, you have any time this weekend? We're going to Prague. It's like, like, dude.
Is it on you?
Right. What are you asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I think people need to be cognizant. I think, I know a lot of people who grew up well off do not understand that's not a normal thing people do.
Right.
And also, I know exactly what you're talking about, Ian, because, when I worked for like these media companies, they'd be like, hey, let's go out to dinner. And they would bring people from the like from work who are making like maybe $80K a year, but they'd want to go to like a 5-star steakhouse and get like Wagyu or something. And then I'm just like, you realize you can't bring that, like that's not nice. That's like a mean thing to do,
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
what were we talking
it hasn't
about?
made you crazy, these royalties and the wealth that
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit, but no, I mean, listen, it's really nice of them. I'm really happy that DC is taking care of more of their professional creators, and